Hey there, my lovely language learners. I'm here today to first of all say Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. I want to wish you all the best in this the year 2024, and I would definitely wish you to accomplish your academic goals, especially if they're connected to learning German language. It's my favorite language to learn, and I also wanted to tell you a little bit more about things I'm doing on a daily basis as a German language tutor. I mentioned before, and it's been my life since 2019 when I started teaching, that I do have private and group lessons, and I also have available spots for teaching this year. It's a new year, new start, a good time to kickstart your German learning process. Let me tell you a little bit more about my lessons and my teaching approach to them. Basically, I do have students of all levels, from scratch, total zero, to C1 level. Everyone's learning journey is personal, individual journey. That's why I always offer personalized approach, exactly for your needs, your preferences, your aim, whether you want to work, you want to study, or move to Germany to be with your loved one. I'm also a big fan of acquisition approach in my own lessons, so you can watch a little bit more about this approach in this video. Basically what it means is that on first steps of acquiring German language, we focus on audio-visual materials instead of reading, working intensively on grammar. Now, we start with some videos or educational series, so you can have this feeling of the language. Not learn, but acquire the language. Then we will definitely need some grammar rules, grammar points, and my students also love me because I can always explain it in a very simple, funny, and entertaining way. Every student has his or her own tempo, depending on work, life schedule, and how busy the person is. I also do encourage my students to start speaking from day one. Small, simple phrases, sentences, talking about yourself, being able to ask some questions. I also take pride in making my own worksheets. You can see it there, with minimalistic design, structured, very easy to remember the material. We also live in the digital era. That's why we cannot survive without some online exercises. Just to master your grammar, vocabulary. Important part of studying with me is also my help, my guidance, and building the system in the Notion app. We basically build your own system so you can track your progress in learning German language on your own. This almost 5 years of experience as a teacher has also helped me to gather all the cool, interesting, modern, up-to-date, relevant resources, online techniques and tools for my students so they can use them and enjoy learning the language in the easy, convenient, and useful way. I mostly have my lessons in Zoom. Since I live in New York, I also have some offline students. It's a little bit more complicated because they have to walk mostly or take a train. But then it's also nice to have this personal communication face-to-face. Otherwise, learning online is what I've also done a year now, and I do believe that it's also a very decent way to learn new languages. Another aspect of me as a teacher is helping my students to get ready for the language exam, whether it's test stuff, go to C2 or TELC. I do offer help and assistance with them all. Initial part is always acquiring the structure and getting the idea of assessment system for the exam. We analyze what grammar points are missing, what vocabulary topics seem to be puzzled for you at this level, and we gradually start working on this all as a system. The time I started playing the piano, my piano teacher has always told me that to be able to pass it with 100% accuracy, you have to be ready for 100% waiting. And that's what I also tell my students, that you need to be all ready, because there is also the stress factor and anxiety feelings might mislead you. Looking from the more distant, long-term perspective, with my students, we also work on developing critical thinking, creativity, and structural approach, because it will also help you with learning the language further or with your life. Since I do have the experience of passing the exam even without living in the country where it's spoken, I help my students to create the system of immersion in the language, even if you don't live in German-speaking country. An inevitable part is also writing and speaking proof checking that I also help with. You might ask me, so what are the real results of your students? One of my students, she's a Russian-speaking lady in her 30s. We started having individual lessons online, and in 2 months, she was already able to speak German in the supermarket, hospital, cinema, and Bahnhof train station in Germany. She had to learn the language extremely fast, and that's what we succeeded in with our mutual effort, I would say. Another student, he grew from A2 to B2 level within a year. Two of my beautiful students, they moved to Germany. They get married with their husbands. One of my students, she is in her 50s, and I've always mentioned in this story as the success story that it's never too late to start learning the language, that's for sure. And also my own result is quite impressive, I think. Living in United States, I set the goal that I want to pass Goethe C2 exam to prove myself that I possess the highest level of knowing German language, which I don't have in English, unfortunately, but I'm working on it. I did it on my own. I was self-teaching for 2 months. I was very strict to myself, and turned out to be a nice journey. And now I have a Goethe C2 certificate. I think that beginning of this new year is the perfect start to learn the languages, and I also offer discounts for packages of my lessons. Just contact me through my email, djudsland@gmail.com, to discuss all the rates, possible schedule time, because I live in New York. You might live in another time zone. Oh, I am connected to different people from all over the world. So please stay tuned, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach me out. Thank you, and see you soon.